Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Big Stick Organization's YouTube channel. And here, we're not doing a Square Deal Radio episode this time. Instead, we're going to rather talk about an important issue about what's dividing Republican voters right now. I'm joined with my friend Kay, and I am Henry McCarthy. And what we're going to be talking about is the Trump versus DeSantis issue. So, what I have here pulled up, I've got MSN News article from the Washington Examiner. It's titled "Independent Voters Abandoned Biden, Choose DeSantis and Trump." So what the first part says independent voters have lost faith in President Joe Biden to handle the problems facing the United States and would choose former President Donald Trump or Florida Governor Ron DeSantis instead in 2024, according to a new post-election survey of the influential and growing group. Here's a little about the poll. In a new Zogby poll shared with Secrets, just 36.9% of independents approve of Biden, with another 60.7% signaling disapproval, a huge gap for a president considering a re-election bid. Now, what this does show, it shows the typical election trend of your average voter going against the party that's in power, that being the Democratic Party this time. And considering Biden's extremely poor performance this time around, it's only natural to consider the fact that independents are going against Biden as they should. I don't know that many independents myself that like Biden. I know plenty of left-leaning voters that don't like Biden because, I mean, the guy's barely sentient, and we basically put him in the White House. What are your thoughts, Kay?
Well, I mean, really, he was simply just the only guy that they could think of to throw in Trump's place. It was a very clear vote blue no matter who sort of situation. I don't think anybody voting for Biden truly believed in him or what he said, so much as they simply just didn't want Trump. And so it's coming around to, well, now Trump has shown himself to be better off as a possibility than Biden, and so therefore, it's flipping around. Vote red no matter who, get rid of Biden. Even the Democrats are turning on him.
It's funny you should mention the vote blue no matter who, because essentially what Republicans need to do is, well, if you can't beat them, friggin' adapt their policies and use them against them. And that's what the Republicans need to do, is we shouldn't let minor candidate preferences divide how Republicans should vote. Now, of course, you'll always have the Republican base members that will vote red no matter who, if I could say. It doesn't sound as catchy because it doesn't rhyme, but that's essentially what Republicans need to do. We can't afford to get bogged down in factionalism. We're already at the disadvantage when it comes to the popular vote, and we in no way have a chance winning if we're divided. The Democrats seem to have an issue when it comes with candidate quality. They don't exactly have an influx of charismatic uniters. As much as they'd like to claim that Joe Biden is a charismatic uniter, he's anything but. You see, a lot of the Democrat candidates are radicals, which flex their political composition. You have your most standout Democratic politicians like AOC and Bernie Sanders. They're complete lunatics. Bernie Sanders is a Democratic socialist, and AOC, she's a freaking whippersnapper, what she is. She's completely off the rails, and just as I said, it's just that the Democrats don't have people that can relate to the average common man. Your average voter, you have a lot of people who have lost faith in the system. They've lost faith in politicians. They want outsiders. They want people that can speak to them on a personal level. And these lunatics, and also the stuck-up game-playing politicians you see in the Republican Party, like Mitch McConnell, McCarthy's, not me, McCarthy, the other McCarthy, the one that's going for Speaker of the House. People don't like them, and that's why Trump has such a wide appeal is that he's an outsider. DeSantis also has a huge appeal as well because he can appeal to the independent voter. And while both candidates are good, I myself am personally divided. But then again, I would vote for either Trump or DeSantis, whoever wins the primary, if such a thing happens. What about you, Kay? Which do you prefer?
Well, I mean, as a libertarian and a person who supremely believes in outsiders outside of the party, people who aren't necessarily deeply embedded within the game, if you'd call it that, I honestly think Trump. He's the only one that wasn't willing to talk buddy-buddy with the Democrats. He wasn't willing to compromise on his morals or anything. Now, of course, he made the mistake of not clearing out all the Democrats in the White House and all that when he first went in. But I mean, you shouldn't have to. The president, when he gets into office, should be, the ultimate tiebreaker. He shouldn't be Republican or Democrat necessarily. He should simply have the best interests of the people at heart. And so, Trump is just the best option when it comes to that. Now, of course, realistically, the large amount of bad press around Trump means that he most likely, when it comes down to it, I could easily see Trump just getting shot down again and DeSantis making it instead. And, that's fine. I like DeSantis. I like his policies. I like his way of thinking. He's seems to be, a great Republican candidate, but he just doesn't have the same appeal as Trump does because DeSantis isn't as much of an outsider. Um, and I'm pretty sure we agree on that one. It's just not the same.
You see, the Republican Party is entering a new age, if you would. The days of the warmongering George Bush and other like-minded Republicans like them that would be buddy-buddy with the Democrats, go out to dinner with them while their Senate was in recess, those days are long over. The country's too polarized for that, and the Republican Party is rapidly going through a transformation right now. You're seeing a lot less of old Bush-supporting Republicans or John McCain Republicans, and you're seeing more and more Trump Republicans. People that aren't willing to put up with, the Democrats' nonsense or Washington's nonsense. And ultimately, I think this is a change for the better because politics is treated like a game to many people, especially the politicians. You have to make so many compromises that you essentially lose yourself, and that's unacceptable as you're abandoning your voters, you're abandoning the people that put you on your podium, all for the sake of pragmatism. You can't be a politician solely on idealism. You have to find a nice mixture between the two. And that's why so many these Democratic politicians are lunatics, is because they're too much of idealists. Idealists get on. Idealists ascend to the throne if they have an easy time in their district, and a lot of these huge blue districts are sending a bunch of idealists up because there's no decent minded Republican going up to oppose them. Anyways, I'll get off my soapbox right about now. So, if there were to be a primary, who do you think has the best chance of winning between Trump or DeSantis?
Well, honestly, I'd almost have to say DeSantis. Simply on the grounds of he's got the centrists vote. As long as Joe Biden is running against him, DeSantis really can't lose. Trump versus Biden again, I could see Biden winning again. I could not see DeSantis losing to Biden. That's the uncomfortable truth. Now, of course, if it's Trump versus AOC or some ridiculous liberal showing up to the party, some radical, and they threw Trump on the other side, and they're both radicals, I could see Trump winning. But Trump against a old decrepit Democrat that you essentially know what he's going to do, there's a chance that Trump could still lose, whereas DeSantis, he appeals to the common worker or just the common
And
person.
DeSantis has proved that he's got a bite to back up his bark. You remember the way he handled the Disney situation, right?
How'd that go down again?
Essentially, Disney would shut up against him, so he essentially put the kibosh on any government deals with Disney, completely put them in their place.
Well,
I
yeah, I
don't
mean,
remember exactly all the situation with myself. I would need a refresher, but that's essentially how it went.
well, I mean, a monopoly company like Disney that's, buying up all the media that they can shouldn't just be able to completely crap on the hand that's feeding them. I mean, I mean, what would Teddy Roosevelt have done at something like that? I mean, what did
He
he
wouldn't have
do?
stood. He wouldn't stand for it, of
Yeah,
course.
at the big stick organization, we do have a thing or two to say about monopolies.
Yes, exactly. You're exactly right. We do have plenty to say about that.
But
These trusts in disguise.
yeah,
But
but
that's a topic for another time.
yep.
What's on the mind now is there seems to be a huge wedge forming between Republicans on the issue of Trump versus DeSantis, and I'm here to say that can't be allowed. We need to have a vote red no matter who, or at least our own version of that. Whoever you prefer, Trump or DeSantis, I see validity in both preferences. Whichever one you prefer, even if your candidate takes the L, you're going to have to support the other one. We really don't have a choice. It's the matter of preserving our culture, preserving our religion, and preserving our American ideals. There's so much on the stake here. We really can't afford to get bogged down in these sectarian issues. Meanwhile, the Democrats are enjoying plenty of unity. When Bernie Sanders takes the L, and he can't freaking get anywhere because he gets defeated by Democratic quote-unquote moderates, Bernie Sanders endorses the other candidate. I believe he did that with Hillary Clinton in 2016. Bernie Sanders lost the primary, and he passed the torch over to Hillary Clinton. And while Hillary Clinton didn't win, it sure is better than the Democrats being divided. Is that not right?
Oh well, definitely. And I could definitely see if Trump, lost, he'd definitely throw all his backing on DeSantis. I do see them, while they are rivals, I do see them linking up in enough viewpoints to both want to work together on it. Once one is out of the race, I could see one backing up the other. Um, I just would like to see a lot of unity. I'm tired of the, well, it doesn't matter what happens so long as we get our paycheck at the end of the month and we stay in office, so let's throw on a good show. I'm tired of that mentality amongst politicians. I mean, Mitch McConnell, as long as I get reelected and the Democrats throw a complete, leftist nut my way, I'll win and I'll still have money next year. He's not even a real Republican anymore. He's not even a real conservative anymore because he passes things so slowly that and betrays his fellow Republicans. It's a game to him. He works more with the Democrats than I could possibly believe. Makes you almost think that the reason he keeps getting set up against such radical Democrats so that the Democrats can keep him in office and use him as a example of Republican laziness. It's ridiculous, man.
We need to complete this transformation that the Republican Party is going through. No more George Bushes. No more Jeb Bushes. Gosh, no more that guy. No more Mitch McConnells. No more John McCain's. We need more Trumps. Of course, not literally, but more people like him. People that can mobilize the base. People that have genuine rhetoric behind them, and not just let's let's try to have a civil talk with the Democrats. Maybe we could come together on some things. No, they don't want to come together. They want to see us annihilated. They label us as racists, homophobes, transphobes, whatever label they put on us. They seem to put out a new one every other day. But they don't want to compromise with us because we are the scum of the earth to them. And that's folly of many Republicans is that they mistakenly believe that Democrats can be compromised with, or at least the radical ones. It's just not going to happen.
I agree on that strongly. A middle ground can be found, but first, the radicals have to be rooted out. And there are too many radicals in the Democratic Party for there to be a middle ground at this point, at least I believe. You know, you stated that very well. I applaud you.
Well, thank you. But that's essentially where I'll end it. Is I can't emphasize enough how important these coming years will be. Like I said, there's so much on the line, and we can't afford to give it up. We can't afford we can't afford for us to argue over such trivial matters over which candidate we need to all rally behind one candidate, and whether that be Trump or DeSantis, we need to make sure that they get in the White House. We can't have another Democrat in the White House again, whether that be Joe Biden or some other nut they put on the stand. I mean, the economy can't take it. I mean, and our foreign policy definitely can't take it. China's cheating us out of our wealth, and Russia is having a field day over in Ukraine. Well, not really, but one could easily make the connection between, foreign policy blunders of Joe Biden and the good foreign policy decision made by Trump. But again, that's another story. Other than that, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Hope you'll check out some of our other videos. Fortunately, our first video did get taken down, so we will be making more videos in the future. Although our upload schedule is not that consistent, we're definitely still working on videos. Other than that, I bid you all a good day or night, whatever time you may be watching this. Farewell.